Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 95 of the Hardly Millennial podcast, where we are young, dumb, and full of
opinions.
Opinions. Woo-hoo! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Matthew is back.
I'm back, guys.
I'm back too.
Justin,
who cares about Matthew?
We were getting to you, Justin.
We're back.
We have to take turns here, okay? Sharing is caring.
Okay, well, I just want to say
a lot.
that not only is Matthew back and Justin's back to this podcast, but Justin is also back in this country, okay?
Yes, Justin is back
we missed
from
you indeed,
Thailand.
sir.
Well, I'm happy to be back. God bless America.
Tell us of your
Yeah,
adventures.
I was
Come
gonna
on.
say, just
jump
right
right
into
into
it.
it.
Let's just jump into it.
So what happens? First of all, get us there. How does one get to Thailand?
All right, cool.
All right,
So
everybody buckle in. I have heard all these stories once before, and just
I wasn't listening
in.
the first time. It's new for me.
Okay. Well, how do you get to Thailand? We literally packed everything up the night before we were supposed to go. And we got in the car and drove from 6 p.m. until midnight to Orange County, and we stayed with my cousin. She then the next morning took us to the airport.
Okay.
Our flight left at 1, so we arrived there at 10. And we flew with an airline called China Eastern Airline. And the reason we flew with China Eastern is because the tickets were about half of the average price of a ticket. Our tickets were $360 round trip to Thailand. That included a layover, and it included a layover on the way back. So we flew from LAX at 1 o'clock, and we landed in Nanjing, China.
Yes. Yes, you did.
Okay. It was a 4-hour layover. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, 4 hours is not that long. Got to check into customs and all that. Plus, we were hungry. Let me tell you, China Airlines, the first 14-hour leg that we flew, fed us the most disgusting food. And it was so consistently gross. It wasn't like, oh, well, maybe they'll give us something better next time. And I'm not going to even get into it, except that we couldn't tell the difference between the protein and fish, chicken, whatever. And at some point, she even said, chicken hamburger, okay? And just handed me the smashed sandwich that didn't resemble chicken or hamburger. But, that's when I knew.
You're like, this is neither of the things you said.
Yeah. Am I supposed to? Are you asking me if I liked this? Or what do you? I didn't answer. Yeah. So anyway, as soon as we landed in Nanjing, China, and we're expecting to go get some food or whatever, we got a very strong whiff of maybe the water that was left in the pot of noodles that they made yesterday and left out. That's what it like. Just go through those process in the head. So think of a big pot of water that they made chow mein noodles in yesterday. Took everything out of the water to do something else with it, like the noodles and the veggies, and the water just sat there. But everywhere. It just
It's like what the entire city smelled like?
Well,
like where you were?
In Nanjing, we only got to be in the airport for 4 hours. And it was like the middle of the night. Yeah. So all we knew was that it stank horribly.
Oh, wow.
So anyhow, we then thought, it's okay. We'll talk to some Chinese people, We got to do nothing because in this particular layover, they took our passports and made us follow them around. Everybody on the plane who was connecting to a flight to Bangkok, which is where we were connecting to, had to stay together. We could not have any type of freedom. So they kept our passports. They made us walk in a single file line all the way to checked baggage or luggage. And we didn't check any luggage. So at this point in a normal country, we should have been able to go free, get something to eat, go find our gate, and wait there until we board. But not in China. We all had to stick together. I got very angry. I thought I was, and then I realized
I am an American. I'm not this.
I got very angry that I couldn't go anywhere.
Is there
I was
like
so
an embassy
annoyed.
or something I can go check
I
out?
can go to talk to.
Yeah, they checked us through one by one, and we were left with maybe 20 minutes before we had to board after going through customs and immigration control, passport control, filling out all these papers. Anyhow, so we thought, okay, well, look, there's a little place we can get at least some ice cream and coffee to keep us awake, because once we got to Thailand, we'd have to find a place to stay, and we were going to arrive at like 2 a.m.
Right.
So got to stay awake. So we go, and I didn't know much about the exchange rate, except that it was like around, I think, 7 to 1.
This is still China?
China.
Okay, yeah.
7 to 1. Anyway, when we go to pay for our coffee and our ice cream, they did not understand us. So they pointed at us and laughed at us. And it was just really kind of rude. And then when they charged us, I know that we're going to be looked at with a very big exchange difference. But when you're told that something is like 38,000 of something, you're like, I'm going to like check. So anyway, at first, they were like, so sorry. And I was like, oh, so you do speak a little fucking English, don't ya? Okay. And then they redid it, and it ended up being, instead of like $100 and something for 2 things of ice cream and a coffee, like $38 instead.
Right.
Wow, that's still ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Expensive.
Absolutely ridiculous. But whatever. At this point, we're like, we still have money. Our vacation hasn't really even started yet.
Right.
Board the plane. Everything goes well. We arrive in Thailand, and we are immediately hit with, bam, humidity and heat. Middle of the night.
Oh, damn.
Thicker and heavier than we were ready for. There was no easing in. It was just like,
Boom.
bam.
Jungle.
So we're like, all right, well, we're here. We're definitely in the right country. And everyone starts pulling over and saying to us, taxi, you need taxi, you need taxi. And we're like, we probably shouldn't get a taxi, where there's a million people asking if you want a taxi.
Yeah.
So we start rolling our shit, our luggage, like down. And finally, some guy, he looks really cool. He's like smoking a cigarette next to it was like a Chevy Yukon. And he goes, you need a taxi? I said, yeah. He goes, I'll take you. It's expensive. Very nice. And we're like, why did that work on us? How much? And he said,
Costs a lot of money.
1,000.
Let's go. Let's have a good time.
I said 1,002 baht. He goes 1,200 baht. I said, so Trenton, I said, it's 1,200 baht. No, 1,200 baht. And I'm like, this is just how we fucking say 1,200 baht in America. Okay, 1,200.
Yeah, just shut up. I'm talking.
Yeah.
Let the adults talk.
So at first I was like, gonna pay 1,000 anything for
taxi
a ride, and then I'm like dividing it in my head. I'm like, okay,
It's like $10 or something.
so,
isn't
no,
it?
it was like $40.
Oh, that is all right.
Yeah, 1,200. Yeah, but we were like, fuck it. I said AC. He was very cool. I said, nice.
Okay.
So we get in there, and this guy was a G, and he explained to us why he charges so much. He pays all the tolls, because every freeway you have to pay to get on. Every single one.
Wait, why is that?
That's just how freeways work there.
It's probably like instead of taxes, they do that in some way.
Yeah, there's no sales
It
tax.
helps to take care of the roads.
Interesting.
But also you don't have to take the highway. You don't want to. The highway is truly a plus. So it's like a toll road. So anyway, let me just tell you, driving in this country is bizarre. The lanes are just suggestion.
Right.
Like maybe if someone had a street cam and they had to find fault somewhere, then they'd look at the lane. But other than that, it's just suggestion. And they drive on the other side of the road. So making left-hand turns is super weird.
Terrifying, I'm sure.
Because you're like, I'm literally going into the wrong way.
Into the wrong way.
So you have, because remember, it's a left-hand turn to the left-hand side.
Yes.
Okay?
So it's like our right-hand turn. It's just a small little
Yeah,
turn.
but the right-hand turn, you're still going on the other side of the road, so it doesn't
Right.
feel as weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
You're not
The left would be
crossing
particularly
anything.
weird.
You this, it's just, I never got used to it. It was definitely something I had to just close
You
my
guys
eyes
can't
and grab.
see, but when he thought about it, he just quivered just
Yes.
now.
It was very scary. And so now we're
like
already
that PTSD.
experiencing an adventure, and we've been in Thailand for 20 minutes, right? And so he goes, where are you guys going? We're like, we don't have a place to stay. And he goes, You don't have a place to sleep? We're like, no. He goes, okay, I know where to take you. And then
God, I hope we don't die.
So I said, Khao San Road. He goes, oh, you must have read a book.
No, we have the internet.
So he took us to Khao San Road, which is where all the white people go when they have no place to go. It's just
That's
loaded with hostels that are like $7 to $10 a bed.
White people everywhere.
It's just where you go. And they mostly white people, they come out at night. Because Khao San Road is popping at night. But anyway, we checked into a place, no AC.
Fun.
We could not get frisky because it was like a slip and slide. We were just like, let's go to bed. But there were people partying downstairs to all hours of the night. So we're like, let's go party.
Right.
We can't get to sleep. We're all backwards. So we go down and party. Some girls asked us if we're pussies. We said no. So she was okay. So she's like, drink Cheng beer. So we drank Cheng beer, enjoyed our night, shout, pass out, holla, right? And then we woke up in the morning at about 5:30. And we look out of our window and it was epic. All of a sudden, you just have this little town has turned into like a big city. Everyone's out driving around. There's monks everywhere. There's a market out. It was just really cool, otherworldly for sure. So we were anxious to like get out.
Right.
Let's go take a shower. The shower is in the same room as the toilet, so you could literally just take a shit and have the water like, you know.
Oh, like literally the same, like the
Like
water
the
can
same,
fall on you
the
while
same
you're
9
shitting?
square feet.
Oh,
little
that's kind
thing.
of dope. I kind of like that.
But wait, they're two. There's still two separate like units, or you mean like it's like a bathroom and shower in one?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's kind of awesome.
Bathroom showers, like a toilet shower sink and like a 3x3.
interesting.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a chair in the shower.
So
Sometimes I just want to sit down.
yeah, well, now you can sit on the toilet if you go to Thailand.
I
So
think they literally sell those things at like Walmart.
a what?
Like
Oh, a
something you
chair
could
to
like,
sit
yeah,
in there.
like a chair for your shower.
So I look at the toilet and I see that it says do not put toilet paper down the toilet. I'm like, okay, what the fuck?
What are you supposed to do with
So I Googled it. There is a nozzle that you use to squirt your butt so that there's no more residue on you.
Poop.
And
He
then
means
you
poop, guys.
Yeah, and then you pat yourself dry and throw that in the trash.
Is that like a bidet?
It's kind of like a bidet, except it's a nozzle. It's like on your
like a
sink.
It's like a portable
manual.
bidet.
It's a manual bidet.
Yeah, and you just you lift up your balls, you go under, you go behind
So
yourself.
how did that work out for you for 10 days? Was
Well,
that rough
it's
to
actually
get accustomed to?
no, it's actually very nice that it's so humid that you're just like using water where it's already wet. You know, it's when you
And
get
you
your
were clean? It gets you clean?
oh, it gets you really clean.
Wow.
It's a lot of pressure. They don't mess with it.
This isn't a little squirt gun. This is a fucking power washer.
Yeah, so we
Interesting. They must save a lot of paper.
went down to street food, got some
trees.
stuff, bought. What's cool about it is you can buy something for like 9 cents. So you just buy a whole bunch of different things for 9 cents. Between the stuff that you can actually eat and stomach, you know, you're full. A lot of stuff you toss, but food is in abundance in Thailand. Nobody's hungry.
Right.
So yeah, we did the Royal Palace. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. I think there's a video coming soon, so I'm not going to go into crazy detail because at this point we've already run through a lot of detail. Next day we go to Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai was way cool. A lot greener, a lot more peaceful, a lot more into the city. You know, people they put like fountains and plants everywhere and stuff. Very
Right.
green. Yeah, and it was just hanging out in Chiang Mai. We did we hung out with the elephants. That was killer. A whole day. You make little medicine balls. They gave you a little history on how elephants became the charges of humans. Some zip lining, which was cool. It took a lot more athleticism than I realized, but we did it. We went to this really cool cave with those, you know, the hats with the light on it.
Headlamp. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt very like profesh. I did.
So did you guys fall over in your canoe?
Yes, in our kayak, we went kayaking, and within like 30 seconds, we completely capsized. So it's okay, you know. We wore synthetic
You got the
clothes.
full experience.
It was killer. It was like thundering and lightning, and Everything went really beautiful. We got some Sakyant tattoos. It'll all be
Oh, the tattoos are super cool.
it'll all be
Yeah.
wrapped up. There's
Those turned
video
out
of
dope.
that too.
The most amazing thing about the tattoos, I've totally said to you guys, is they like hardly blistered at all.
yeah.
Like hardly anything. They were
They
super
heal
clean.
nicely.
Yeah.
And they're
Because
done.
it's not a needle gun. It's like you got.
Yeah, I
it
was
was
just
like
gonna
a tapping,
say
right?
it's just a single needle, and they do every single little
Yeah.
like dot.
It'll be in the
basically.
video. You can
Yeah.
check all of that out. So after tattoos, you did everything you wanted to do. We hung out with some tigers, went to a waterfall that grows like this really cool algae that makes it sticky so you can climb up and down the waterfall. You don't slip.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Stayed in a great resort and realized when it was already too late that we had actually missed our flights back for just reasons I don't feel like really going into, but it was honest mistakes. And
Just
so
a time zone difference.
we then had to get
misunderstanding.
more tickets, one-way tickets back. We had an 8-hour layover in a different Chinese airport. We
Was
had
that
Actually,
one any better? Or
I was
it
actually
much
gonna
of the
say
same?
you didn't tell us much about your second layover in China coming back. Did you have to do the same kind of bullshit you had to the first time?
the second
sing-
layover, or
Yeah.
because there was 2 on the way back.
both in China?
Yes.
Okay, well, either one of
Both of
those.
them.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
the layover was 8 hours long. Yes, we did have to check in and all of that, but it was 8 hours, so we were in no hurry to
So it's just whatever at that point.
Yeah, so we're like, all right, do our thing. So we have so much time, and we're trying to order at like McDonald's and stuff, and they're literally just laughing at us because we can't. They were so horrible, so rude and mean. We were like, all right, well, we need to go to the bathroom and freshen up and everything. Well, you can't freshen up in those bathrooms because they smoke in those bathrooms inside. They have these little hole in the ground toilets that are very popular in China still. I do not know why. I thought sophisticated people used toilets, but they use them.
I think India's the same way. I think India still uses the
just
hole
like
in the
a hole.
ground.
Well, it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
The squat. They do the squat. The Asian squat.
And they, yeah, no, thank
Didn't
you.
know of such thing.
Oh, that's what they call it. It's like this. They like you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, right, Justin? It's the squat that
probably have
Asians can
powerful
do.
thighs.
And they can rest in that position
Yeah,
for like
it's
ever.
the weirdest thing, but just I can't do it.
There's lots of
Not comfortably,
videos.
at
You
least.
can check it out on
Yeah.
YouTube. Asian squat. So anyhow, we were exhausted. We were disgusted by the bathrooms and how horrible the people were. Every single one. Someone tried to scam us while we were in the airport.
In China?
In
This is still
China.
China?
Yeah. They tried to tell us that the shuttle wasn't coming and that they would need to pay to get a taxi. And at this point, we were so jaded. We were just like, go away. We hate you. So we needed a place to stay. We actually found, after discovering that we could use Google Translate again, we totally forgot about it, to ask if there was a place to leave our luggage.
Right.
So they charged us to leave our luggage. And then we just slept underneath an escalator.
Uh-huh.
Used our bags, a couple of our bags as pillows. And then finally, we made it all work, except the plane boarded late. And the plane took off late. Our second layover was only 2 hours.
Ooh.
So the reason that you did not hear about our second layover is because we really did not have one. We
Got there and just immediately
we
had to
were
run
so
to the
panicked.
terminal.
We were talking to the crew on China Eastern. They did not seem to really care. So I asked if they had a boss that spoke good English, and I felt rude, but whatever, because they did, and they got him for me. So he ended up connecting me with somebody on the ground crew when we got there, who said, "All right, let's get you going. You know, you're gonna miss your flight." So he took us a super duper baller back way
through the airport.
through the airport. Turns out we already had our boarding passes. No one told us we were boarding passes for our next flight too.
Right.
But he got us through customs and passport control really fast, and we made it with 1 minute after boarding.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
Barely made it. We stunk. We were sweaty. We were delirious. We were crying on the plane before because we just wanted to be home. And here we're thinking we're going to be stuck in China again and have to buy more tickets because let me tell you, customer service and satisfaction does not exist in other countries. They do not
Especially not
care.
in China.
Don't give a damn.
They do not care. You know, and I have to say the Thai were incredible people. They were so giving and so kind and so anxious for you to see everything and have a good experience. They all wanted to know how long you're going to be here. They all wanted to know where else you're going to go.
Right.
Okay. The Chinese literally just point at you. They laugh. They look at you like you're trying to blow their country up or something.
Come to think of it, when I think about, you know, especially lately with you being so into travel and everything, with all the travel videos and stuff you've watched, and even just in my own experiences through life of meeting people who travel and everything. I've met people who have gone to Thailand before. I've met people who have gone to Europe, Scandinavia, India, even Australia, all those other places, but I don't hear about a lot of backpackers doing China. And if they do, they certainly don't talk about it. At least that's not the first thing on their list to brag about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if I've ever met anybody who's had like a life-changing experience in China. Hashtag me too if you have. Feel free.
Gotta get that in there.
Gotta get that, yeah.
But also, China requires a visa that you apply for to even leave the airport. So
Even if it's just like a vacation?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think Russia's the same way.
Yeah,
I think
you
a lot
need a
of those,
visa.
communist,
whereas like
socialist
Thailand
countries
and a
are.
lot of other countries, Laos and I don't know about Bangladesh, but anyway, the Asia Minor, Southeast Asia countries, you get an automatic 30-day when you land.
Okay.
Yeah, an automatic 30-day visa. So you didn't have to do that for Thailand. But when you don't have one just to land in China, they like run an investigation. They're like, you don't have a visa, but you're landing in China. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not staying in China. I'm here to go somewhere else. Oh, you have connecting flight? Yeah. Can I see? And then sorry, I got distracted.
That pause was a dog barking, is what that was.
So, anyhow, it's like a whole investigation. Super sucks. You think you're gonna get stuck there, but anyway, we finished our flight. Big plane, small seats, and when the plane touched the ground, it was like so happy to be home. And when they stamped my boarding pass that said "Welcome home," I literally cried, because when you think you're going to be stuck in China with people who hate you. So it was a rough end, but getting home and everything kind of erased all of that, and all you thought about was the really exciting trip that we had. It was jam-packed. We did everything you could ever want to do there.
So was your experiences in these layovers in China enough to, like, if you found a cheap ticket to somewhere you really wanted to go and one of those layovers was in China, would you skip out on that ticket and just wait for the next one?
Yes, I would. It also depends on how much cheaper it is and everything else, you know. If it's a 5-hour layover that I'm sure we're going to make, and it's a place I've always wanted to go, and at this point it's just ridiculous, sure, okay? But no, I never want to go there. I actually would like to boycott as many things that are made in China as possible.
Good luck.
I know.
You'd have to have like a very minimalistic life.
I understand that. I would like to. Like, I'm always going to check, and if it's between two and one of them was not made in China, I'm going to pay a little bit more to buy it not there, just because that's how horrible they were to me.
Dude, China's a loose cannon cop that plays by its own rules. I mean, they really are.
You know, we were two grown men, okay, traveling. We thought, how bad can something be for two grown, like good-sized men?
Right.
And
they're little people too.
no, they're not. I thought everybody would be really small. They make everything like everybody is really small, but not everybody. There's big, buff, scary Chinese men, okay?
Oh, wow.
Definitely. There's hormones in the meat everywhere. So we're all growing extra, but
they're fucking eating chimeras and shit over there, dude.
What's a chimera?
What that is.
A chimera is like the mixture of two animals together. So if you have, like a griffin would be a chimera technically.
The fucking what Alex Jones was talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about that
shit,
and it was like confirmed. It was like shit you could like actually look up.
They were like graphing multiple animals together. And shit.
Yeah,
but like different species and trying to make it work.
Just weird experiments like that. They do a lot of weird shit in China.
Alex Jones called him out.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, no, Alex, it's not. And then it was true.
And then it was true. Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. And there's always this sense of intimidation in that country.
Well, they're kind of under the impression, and they're kind of right, that they own us. You know, we're in such debt to China.
Well,
and
I think
shit.
they just don't have rights like we do.
Well,
here.
that too.
Yeah, that's another thing.
There's no such thing as rights.
Well, that too, but I mean, just in regards to their attitude towards Americans, you know.
We're also in kind of a trade war with them.
But they
right
also
now.
treated
Right.
everybody like that. It wasn't just the Americans. There was a lot of different people on that flight. And it was literally like...
If you were non-Chinese.
Once you get to China, it's, I am the captain now. You know,
Right.
totally. You're like, okay, well, you're right.
What can you do?
And
Yeah.
they take full advantage of like, nah. Like, this is how we do it here.
It's kind of eye-opening, you know, especially if you're somebody who doesn't travel a lot. Because, I mean, like, going to Europe is one thing,
Yeah.
you know, if you're from America. But, like China, for example, though, when you land there, they do stuff to you like that. You know, I'm sure there's just this, like, wave of, like, helplessness. Like, but the realization that you're helpless, you know, of, like, I'm in another country. I'm on foreign... There's literally nothing I can
What are you gonna
do.
do?
And then,
There's
of course,
no one to save me.
I
you
have
know?
to talk shit if I'm going through that because I didn't realize, you know, what kind of shit that I'm going to be in if I get caught. So I'm talking about, so just so y'all know, I don't know if anyone here voted for like universal health care, but when you have a very small group of people trying to control a very large group of people, this is how it runs. Who here flew out of LAX? Raise your hand. Who here flew out of LAX? And people are like, me. And I'm like, exactly. Did you have to deal with any of this? And how many more people were there? And as a matter of fact, how is it that we are in the most populated country in the world, but no one can afford to freaking travel? This airport is empty and there's no one working.
Right.
So they have all of this space here. No one's working. No one can afford to get to work, or no one qualifies for a job at the airport.
Right.
And I realized very quickly that like everybody else was smart by just shutting up and like not saying anything.
Because you found it's against
Yeah,
the law
you're
to
in-
talk shit
It
about
is,
China
yeah.
and China.
You're not allowed
You
to
don't have
say.
rights.
Yeah. I had to learn that the hard
God,
way.
imagine getting that call from Trenton of like, so...
Justin is being detained
Justin's in Chinese
in
prison.
Nanjing right now. Can you call Donald Trump to get him out?
Can you call Donald Trump?
He's really good at rescuing
You know
people
what?
from foreign prisons.
The
Fuck
thing
yeah.
is, if somehow we miraculously got a hold of Donald Trump and was like, hey, my fat gay
You know Daddy
roommate
T.
from Los Angeles is in
Daddy T
China.
would be like, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'll have him here in 48 hours.
He's like, ooh, that's a PR dream. Let's
yeah.
fucking jump on that board.
oh man.
And then they would never report on it because that won't feed the narrative. They
Oh,
won't.
I will report.
We have a podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
But anyhow, that was all dealings with China. Super sucked. So do not go there unless you have to for work or something. And you know,
But do go to Thailand. Thailand was
oh,
amazing.
everyone must go.
And the people
Everyone
there like,
must go.
love Americans, right?
Well, they love tourists because that's just what they do. They entertain tourists. You know, they have a anywhere you go where right underneath the native language there, when there's English, that means that's a primarily English, like as another language place.
Right.
You know, people are going to speak English, so I highly
You
recommend
found
it.
a lot of people in Thailand spoke English? It was not too much of an issue?
No, not at all. So everyone, it's looked highly upon to speak English, and they really try to understand you when you speak English to them.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
That's super cool. Did you pick up any Thai while you were there?
No.
No. You
I tried. It was not sticking. It just
It's
wasn't.
totally different.
Do you need to like go get food
I
or
do.
something?
Talk amongst
Okay.
yourselves. Get some questions together back in 2 minutes.
Justin's done Postmates, so not a sponsor. Sponsor us. But damn, I really want to go to like South Korea or Japan though.
Dude, I want to go to Japan. I will definitely do Japan. South Korea might be nice. That's basically Japan, right? Like mainland Japan.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different, but I mean, they love Americans over there in South Korea.
Yes.
Like they're always trying to be American, but be American as far as like like a lot of girls will get plastic surgery to make their eyes wider and blue.
Right, I've
and
heard
shit
of
like
that, yeah.
But I actually just had a coworker not a direct coworker. Like I just see her now and then. She comes into the coffee shop and. she just came back from Japan, actually.
Oh, how did she like it?
I didn't get to talk to her much about it. I really want to, though. But she says, she goes, I didn't want to leave. I think she was there for almost, if not the same dates as Justin was in Thailand.
Funny.
Yeah. But she just said, I didn't want to come home. Like, it was great. Like, the next time I see her, like, I've been mean to be like, hey, I literally just want, like, I'll buy you lunch one day. I just want to, like, know about Japan. Yeah. Because I do really want to go there.
Well, I was going to say, I think Justin is planning one. Probably a while from now, but because he has like 2 or 3 other trips he's taking, and then I know he definitely wants.
Well, he wants to get the jungle shit out of his system,
which is fine. I'm not into that anyway.
Yeah, but no, like, but the thing with Justin though is Justin's really good about doing really in-depth research, really about anything, but in traveling specifically, he'll know about all the little hot spots, that maybe your typical traveler won't know.
He sits there and watches videos for hours and hours.
But like I've done stuff like that too, and I know like the main places that anybody who opens up a fucking book about Japan will know to go visit. But as far as just like the little tiny things, like I always have a hard he's good at finding those things. But that's why I wanted to meet with this girl that went, because I was like, okay, like what do you do when you're there?
Where do you go? What do you do?
Do they detain you at the airport to take your passports?
No, I think they're cool in Japan.
Yeah, no, they're cool in Japan.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of the Asian countries I think are pretty cool. There's just a few of them like China, North Korea. I don't think
the
Laos.
Philippines is super cool right now.
Oh, well, I guess not to tourists. But they weren't always like that, though. That's like a recent thing.
Yeah, just
that's like
the recent
past like 5 years.
Yeah, cuckoo.
Yeah, literally like cuckoo.
He's literally a little cuckoo.
He's a little crazy. But maybe Laos is another one I don't think you can just... Because I think Laos is still communist.
I know absolutely nothing about Laos other than where it is on the map.
I feel like I saw just a random documentary about Laos
right next to Vietnam, isn't it?
Yes. And if they're not communist, I think they're like heavily socialist. I remember seeing pictures like that. Justin's back. Justin, do you know anything about Laos? The country Laos?
It seems a lot like Thailand, but no, I don't know a whole lot about Laos.
I was just telling Matthew that I think Laos is either communist or like heavily socialist. I feel like I remember watching some documentary or some movie once. I was showing like photos and stuff from it. And it reminded me a lot of like North Korea, like giant statues of past leaders, stories high.
I feel like maybe it's like a dictator kind of deal.
It might be that too. I feel like
it's one of those.
I feel, you know what?
Like military, like the military runs it.
It might.
I forget
be
what
that.
the name of that government is, but there's a government where the military runs it.
I'm gonna Google it because at this point I just have to know. Laos,
like Venezuela
government.
I think it's that kind of deal. I think it's like that.
Laos People's Democratic Republic.
Okay, that definitely means if it's a People's Democratic Republic
of
it's
a one-party socialist republic, so they're a
dictatorship.
Anything that says one party or republic.
If you see ROC, or RO, the Republic of anything, it's usually not a good deal.
No. So Laos is that other one. Do people go to Laos? Do people like tourists?
Oh, totally. People go to Laos. Yeah. A lot of people say it's like that lost gem of like Southeast Asia. A lot of people seem to really love it there.
Really?
I think it is quite a lost gem because there was thinking of it, I think it was a movie I saw that just took place in Laos, and I think it was filmed in Laos. But just as I said, like there was a lot of architecture I saw from Laos that I was like just completely like blind that it exists. Oh yeah,
like cities in Laos.
I'm telling you, dude, it looks like North Korea.
I literally thought that the whole country was just jungle. Like, I literally thought that it was just
it's like city.
jungle.
At least the place where they were, it was like city and stuff. But they just had, like I said, it just reminded me a lot of North Korea.
A Laotian person.
Laotian.
Is that what they are?
Laotian. I think it's Laotian.
I'm trying to find I can't find pictures. But anyways, yeah, okay, they're a dictatorship. Good to know for our future if I ever decide to go to Laos.
Well, update. So apparently,
what updates?
The Postmate texted me and I did not see it, so I actually already tipped them and paid for it.
Oh,
it's not even here. It said that, so it's okay. I fucked up.
Oh, it just says they're on their way.
I'll have to go. No, it says he's at the front door. So when Cowboy barked, they were here, but I didn't see on there that he had arrived. He had arrived.
So he just
left.
Does he leave the food?
No, food is gone.
So you just paid
It's
and
over.
lost the food? It's just gone?
It's gone.
Is that a risk you take with Postmates?
You know what?
I didn't realize that
I feel like
would
it's
happen.
my fault.
Wait. But this doesn't make sense
So
to
you
me.
ordered food, and they were just like, so he just has your food now?
Someone does, yes.
So, okay, but here's the thing, though. So, yes, did we hear Cowboy, the English bulldog that lives here, bark? Sure. I didn't hear a fucking door knock. I didn't hear a doorbell.
And we have literally, just so we know,
Yes.
we have sat on this podcast multiple
And
times
had knocks and
said,
doorbells.
"Oh shit, the doorbell." Multiple times.
Yes.
So they did not ring the doorbell, folks.
Or knock, for that matter.
This is literally a live review.
a live review of
Postmates right now.
Postmates.
What a
And
bummer.
This is the second time we've talked about Postmates on the podcast.
They're not getting a very good rap with the Hardly Millennials. They are not nailing it.
Honestly, dude, I've never been a big fan of any of the food delivery systems.
Dude, if you already paid and tipped for it, why would he not just leave it at the doorstep and drive off? He's already paid and tipped.
I don't know.
Why would you
maybe
think
they,
it's okay to
Maybe they
keep
just
the
don't
product?
do that.
Well, I think the thing was that when he paid, because the second time I grabbed his phone for him is when it asked about the tipping and stuff. So I think it was already after he was here and left that you paid him. So he's probably looking at his
him.
phone.
Yeah.
Just you didn't pay for the food yet, though.
Oh, the
Or you
food is paid when you
Oh,
order
that's
it.
right, that's right,
That's
that's
how
right,
it
to the
leaves the
actual place.
restaurant.
I don't trust those kind of places, dude.
Yeah, that seems sketch as fuck. You have to be like perfect. You gotta be tits on, or you could just lose your shit.
I once
like,
was
that's not
using
cool.
I once was using Grubhub, which I think was like the first one of these type of services. And this was when you and I were living at our apartment, Justin.
Yes.
And I wanted fucking Subway. That's it. And don't get me wrong, there was a Subway down
I'm
the
not getting me
street.
wrong. I'm not. I feel you.
Well, good. Get me right, Matthew. Get me right.
You got very animated. You looked deep into my eyes, and you're like, "Don't get me wrong." I'm like, "Okay."
I'm glad you're listening. But there was a Subway right down the street. I could have walked to it if I wanted. I didn't have a car at the time. I could have walked to it if I wanted to. But fuck, I wanted somebody to deliver my food for me. So I was using this Grubhub thing, and I just got a fucking footlong at Subway. And I'm fucking sitting there. And I remember I put on a movie, and then the movie ended. And I realized my food had never show up.
Like, what the fuck?
And I was like, what the hell? And so, like, I was checking it, and then I was, like, calling them, and I couldn't get through to anyone. And I kid you not, dude, it was, like, 2 hours after I ordered. Some fucking guy shows up to my door and hands me the fucking Subway. I got it a toasted sandwich. This was, like, a fucking cold-ass sandwich. I'm like, I literally could have walked to and from Subway 5 separate times. And you have to pay a fucking fee when you use like Grubhub or Postmates, the delivery fee, that's how they make their money. So I'm like, I literally paid more for the convenience of getting Subway without having to walk and go get to it. And by the time it got to me, I could have had 5 fucking Subway sandwiches from 5 separate visits.
Yeah.
That were done
to
correctly.
the Subway, yes.
That we're not wrong.
And now I have to go and get some food later.
Well, good. I'm hungry. I'll go with you.
Yeah, this
That
is
sucks.
this
What
is
did you get?
inconvenience for you, but it's a silver lining
Chipotle. I
for
got some
us.
Chipotle.
Of course you did.
A Chipotle.
Oh, I do not like Chipotle.
I don't like Chipotle
Ugh,
either.
I love it.
Disgusting.
Oh my god, I love Chipotle.
I know you
Chipotle
do,
is my
but-
life.
Hate if you want. I don't give a
that
fuck.
mean?
I don't like Chipotle.
I don't either. They're just
You know what it is for me?
What?
The beans.
Really?
Beans.
I don't actually get the beans.
I don't like black beans.
I don't get beans either, but to me it's just bland. I honestly just think it tastes bland. It doesn't matter what combination.
It's big. The burritos
is-
are fucking
it's
huge.
huge,
I'll
but
give
it's-
them that.
But it's bland. What are we trying to do,
What are you
Justin?
doing? Don't finger the laptop.
Yeah, don't
like
finger the
you're-
laptop. That's how you
I
fuck
wanted
with
to feel
things.
profesh.
Wow, been going for a while.
Yeah.
You talked about
We're fine,
Thailand for a
broski.
hot second.
I try to abridge it. I realized after we're going through like the way there, I'm like, okay, this is gonna take like 5 hours, so I better.
Well, it
just-
doesn't matter. We're not. We don't do an hour podcast anymore, right?
You don't?
No,
No.
we just go until we're done
We
talking.
go until
now.
we're done talking. There's no time
Could
limit
be a while.
anymore.
We could be here for a second.
Yeah. I was here for a little over an hour and a half with Vince last week.
Interesting.
Don't even stress about the time, bro.
Yeah. We did go. We just go until we just feel like we can't anymore.
Well, then I would like to say that jet lag is very real. It's so real.
It fucked Justin
Yeah,
up,
yes,
guys.
it did.
It fucked him up.
I was legitimately backwards, and when I was there, it was kind of tough because I couldn't get to sleep early enough, but I would still wake up really early, so I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. That's okay on vacation.
What is jet lag, just for the simple viewers?
Oh, jet lag
You
is
never know
just
who's listening.
adjusting to the time difference of being in another time zone of any kind. So if you have jet lag, that usually means that you're somehow turned around where your sleep is off.
Right.
Because Thailand is on literally the other side of the planet. So
And
when it's
then
nighttime
some,
here, it's daytime there.
And they're 14 hours
Yes,
ahead?
14.
Okay.
Yes. So you went back in time coming here?
Yes.
Because you left us a text originally.
You're like,
I'll be
there
home yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys yesterday.
Which was our today.
tomorrow.
Our tomorrow.
At the time,
that time.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Crazy.
Because you lose an entire day in the air plus the hours that you're going. So on the way there, we actually lost a whole calendar day. On the way back, we actually gained almost a day.
Damn.
How funny.
Yeah, it was pretty
That
weird.
could fuck up people on birthdays and shit, I'm sure.
Yes.
So
Well, I mean, that fucked you up on.
Oh yeah, for like
home.
4 days
Yeah.
Oh,
when
yeah.
he got back, he couldn't sleep. Like you could sleep, but you never got not tired.
also just booking the tickets, the issues with the tickets came from losing the day. And, when you book them, you're in this time zone, so it gives you the relative time of this time zone.
The ticket coming back is the relative time zone for Thailand.
So we had to think about what time we were leaving Thailand time. And I also think maybe it depends also on the booking site, because when you do your return date, it should be the return date of when you are coming. It was a mess. But yeah, jet lag is very real. I'm just getting to the point where I'm kind of on a normal sleep schedule. So I'm thankful for that. And we were going to go to Colombia, but just the international travel and having it be our first big trip, we decided on staying somewhat domestic next time and doing Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I really want to try to make it to that.
It's going to be a chiller
Oh, you're going.
trip.
If you're going to Puerto Rico, then I'm going to try to go too.
Yeah, try
Yeah,
to go.
get your tickets. The 3rd through the 10th of January.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm excited to. Oh well, I'll get to
I gotta
report
see
on
if
that.
I can get the time off of work. Recent developments in my life. My coffee shop got sold to a new owner.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I'm under new management, folks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been doing that a lot. So I'll have to see if I can get the time off. I'd love to go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I could get the time off, but you said there's a lot of people going too. Or a lot
I'm
of people that want to
hoping.
go.
I'd like to make this a 10-man trip. I would really, really love it if we could get 10 people to go. So as soon as everyone's committed and buys tickets,
Who
we
the
can.
fuck else do we know? Do we know 6 other people?
Well,
Well, Trent does, and
Trent's
then
friends.
Oh, that would be cool.
Plus
Yeah.
my friends.
I
was gonna say,
you
there's
have
a-
other friends?
You guys. Yes, and I have other friends.
I don't
too.
have any friends to contribute to the whole. I'm sorry.
I have a
The
couple
variables
friends
end
from.
with me.
ooh, I should see if my brother wants to come.
Oh, that
I
would
think-
be
I think,
dope.
I think
Incredible.
those might be blackout days or something, but that
January?
might be Circus from Georgia. I'm not sure if that pertains to Cirque, but
Well,
That'd
I'd
be
like
super
to.
cool.
Yeah,
I'd like
that'd
to
be
get
awesome.
quite a few people to go. Get a really cool place to stay, a nice big house or villa or something.
I have to say though, like I think Puerto Rico will be fun. I think it will be a nice,
Puerto Rico's like
7-day
islandy,
party.
right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
more
like in the
islandy?
Bahamas.
Okay, yeah, I can fuck with that for sure.
But I'm super excited for Romania in May.
Oh, that's gonna
If
be
I can-
so
If I
sick.
can go to that one.
I hope you can. Romania is going to be cool because it's going to be it's Europe this time. It's a completely different feel.
Europe, and it sounds like too, because you're going there to help somebody move, right? And it's really just wants to tag along.
I'm going
kind
there
of
because
thing,
she's
right?
moving there. There's not a whole lot of helping required. It's just she's a single female.
Right, I feel yeah.
So I just would like
But like,
a
but that's,
reason to go.
But that's my point, though. It's not really a trip of like, okay, we have all of our days planned out. It's really just kind of go to Romania and figure it out from there. At least that's what it feels like right now.
Well, it's because it's 2 trips away. So, like right now, I'm in the middle of really planning Puerto Rico. But Romania, I think it's going to be like 10 days to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of chill time. So, I'm hoping to, find some kind of excursion that takes us somewhere else other than the city that we're in, maybe stay in another city or maybe even another country for a couple days or something. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of actual touristy, like tour bus. This is the castle where this happened. Next, if you go to your left,
wearing one of those like little visor hats, the hats.
I totally want to do that.
I'm super into that vacation. That's a Matthew vacation.
See, that's more of an Adam vacation too. I like more of that kind of stuff. But I do appreciate the party places. I'll really like the Puerto Rico, I think.
That's in May. You're going to Romania in May?
The following May, yeah.
Oh, a year from...
What just passed, yeah. No, January, Puerto Rico, yeah.
Okay.
And that's going to be really killer, too. It's going to be a low-maintenance trip.
You're going to use up all my money going around the world, man.
I'm trying to find cheap places so that everyone can afford to go. Places where the dollar goes really far.
So, because Puerto Rico is a Commonwealth state of the U.S., is there like... I know that they take the U.S. dollar, but does the U.S. dollar go farther in Puerto Rico than here? Is it the same kind of, is it the same exchange rate?
Oh, it's the same exchange rate. Some things are just naturally cheaper in Puerto Rico, just like how gas is cheaper in Arizona than California.
Gotcha. So it's not that the U.S. dollar goes further in Puerto Rico. Things are just generally cheaper in Puerto Rico.
Right. And whenever you go to another country, things that are available to locals that are needs are generally cheaper. So going to the grocery store is cheaper, Right. But, I mean, finding a villa to stay in, while it's cheaper than a hotel, it's not $10 a person a night like Thailand.
Right. Oh, jumping back to Thailand, one thing I know you were talking about in Thailand, or that you wanted to do in Thailand that I actually didn't hear you talk about at all, was did you end up staying in those like bungalow, like treehouse looking kind of
Oh,
hotel
no,
place?
we didn't. So that sucked. So we actually booked a treehouse to stay in, and we didn't...
Like a nice treehouse, guys. Like this is like...
Oh, yeah.
I can't
it's
describe
like a hotel
it.
room
yeah, it's a
in
hotel.
tree.
In a
like
tree.
making love in the trees.
Yes.
Okay. So
Tarzan shit.
Yeah, we really, really wanted to, and we booked one, but we learned that we actually booked it in Phuket. So we were 9 hours south.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We did not realize that. So
Did you just have to take the loss on that, or were you able to
no,
get
we
money
were able to
back?
cancel it. Thailand's
Okay,
really
good.
easy to cancel everything because people book it all the time.
Right.
But no, we ended up booking a nice 5-star resort about 2 hours north of Chiang Mai in a place called Mae Rim, which was really, really cool. Beautiful, very rural. So, but this place was just over the top. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of footage of it on the video, but a lot of it was just like, I'm going to just enjoy the fuck out of this. Because it was just like, I can't believe I'm here. Everything was super tropical, built out of like that nice bamboo, but like nice bamboo. It looked like Disneyland status.
Right.
Except everything really grows there. There was a beautiful waterfall right in front of our hotel room, and we all lived in stayed in little bungalows. They were not connected in a building or anything like that.
Right.
With its own little garden. Peacocks just like walking around, chilling. A big white one, a big purple one.
We want that at the house, man.
Yeah, they had it was literally just so over the top luxurious. And this was at the end of our trip. So we decided to really try to spend some money,
Right.
At least what we had already gotten in baht.
Yeah.
So we couldn't.
Are there
We
any-
couldn't. We were like drinking like champagne and like really deluxe lifestyle.
Over-the-top shit,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, we didn't know what we wanted, so we ordered everything, and we couldn't even get through our money.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
I just lost my train of thought.
Well,
but damn,
remember it.
I can't.
Didn't you
remember.
tip the final waitress like $600?
Oh, that was back in
or
Chiang Mai.
something?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask. Are there any homeless people in Thailand? Like when you walk the streets or the markets, are there beggars?
Okay, this is gonna sound weird. Okay, there are beggars, and they're always like club-footed or like deformed of some kind.
Okay, so they're outcasts. Is really
Yeah, or like sometimes you'll have the mom with her disfigured son who can't move, who's like mentally retarded, asking.
Gotcha.
But as far as like homeless populations, no. Are there people that sleep outside on the ground? Yes. Do they not have homes? I do not know. But let me tell you, it's a great place to be homeless because if someone gives you a few baht, you can now actually eat for a little bit. And also the weather just lends itself very nicely. But there was a point where we saw like 4 people laying next to each other on these little bamboo cot things. And one of them had a hooker. So, I mean, yeah, one of them was very evident. Like, oh, well, she looks like she showers and you kind of don't.
So, because the reason why I was asking is because my brother went to South Africa and same thing, like the dollar goes a very long way in South Africa. And he was telling me that towards the end of their trip, same thing. They were trying he went with his gymnastics team with ASU at the time. And same thing, they were like trying to basically get rid of their money. They just had so much of it at the end of the trip. And they said that they would, he'd give what's South Africans' money? It's like
I don't know.
Oh, it starts with an R. It's something
Rand.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. It was right on the tip of my tongue.
I just knew it started with an R. But like, so he would get like he'd give like 5 rand to somebody, and they would be like, oh, thank you. It'd be like thanking them and shaking their hands and things like that, because that was like a whole lot of money. And here's these fucking white people from America just making it rain on them.
That was 40 cents.
And it's like, so I'm just like you in my country. I'm just like you. I have to have people buy me stuff too.
I understand you.
So here's another question, just kind of relating back to what Thomas has told me about his time in South Africa, was because you talked to a lot of the locals.
Yes.
You said, right? So one thing that Thomas told me was he ran into this weird thing where a lot of the locals, because they were American, just kind of automatically assumed that they either knew or had some connection with like the A-list celebrities here in America.
Oh, like all Americans just know Leo DiCaprio.
Well, not that you might know him personally, but we're just an abundance of stars. You know what I mean?
We're all just
like everyone's just living in LA. So you just see a star every week, kind of thing.
I had no one even ask.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
Everyone was way more concerned about how you like Thailand. Thailand really hot.
What's the thing that they ask about America, though? Like, did they ask you did anyone keep asking you the same question about America?
Is it hot?
That's what they wanted to know?
Oh, well, you could say, well, I live in a place called the Sonoran Desert.
Did you tell them that you lived on the hottest place on the planet?
Yes. I told them, where we live, it's the hottest.
There's nowhere hotter.
And it said hot, and I forgot about the Fahrenheit versus Celsius, so then I had to look it up, and I tell them, it's this hot, and they looked at me like I was crazy. I said, and dry, and I made crackled fingers at my face.
Dry.
No water. No water in the air. No orchid grow.
Nope. Did you tell me I have plenty of dust over here, though?
No, I told them what grows here, though. Because I told one of the ladies who spoke really good English.
Cactus?
That I told her, I think this is heaven for all the plants that I've murdered in my life. I said there are so many plants I've killed in my backyard. I said I see all of them here and they're doing so good. I think they went to heaven.
Oh my god,
that's funny.
Here, talk amongst yourselves. I just need to go grab myself a water. Would anybody else like a water?
I would love a water.
Would you like a water?
I would like an ice cold water if possible. No lukewarm water for me.
You know what? I'm going duly noted, but you're going to get what you get.
Oh no, I hope it's whatever I want.
Well, hopefully soon we'll have more of a Thailand climate in our own backyard.
We will.
A shit ton of planting today.
I was so inspired. I said, I am having this at my house.
Are you allowed to talk about our possible new additions to the household?
Yeah. So first off, I came back and I really wanted to make sure I was able to have Thailand in my backyard because I was very moved by it. And I will, by God. It was going in that direction. So on top of all that, the local fish and game company or whatever you call it, department, has over 100 Sonoran desert tortoises to rehome.
Fuck yes, we love tortoises.
We
in this
love
house.
tortoises. I have 2 African spur-thighed tortoise or sulcata tortoises, and they are fantastic. We love watching them eat and grow. So we thought, why don't we fill out the application and see if we're accepted to adopt 2 more? And part of the process...
There's a process, guys. There's literally an application, and you have to be deemed worthy to have these things.
Exactly, because you don't get to pay for them. They are adopted only because you cannot sell native wildlife. So in order to have one of these, you fill out the application. You then take pictures of your yard and then pictures of their hides. Well, I don't have hides. My tortoises do hide. But I don't have any hides, so I had to make hides.
Tell us, what is a tortoise hide?
A tortoise
I had
hide
never heard of such a thing.
has to be underneath the ground where they can burrow under and kind of control their temperature. So you can either just build a hole or you can put something to kind of fortify the hole. So I chose to put 5-gallon buckets and then cover them in dirt to make like a little hill and plant some stuff on top of it, and it looks beautiful.
It turned out fucking amazing.
Yeah. So once everything grows in, but I get to take pictures of all this and email it with the application. Oh, it's so nice and chilled. This water is so chilled.
You're welcome, Justin.
Thank you.
I did that just for you.
Oh, goodness.
So all the animals are just patiently waiting outside of my door.
Are they?
So
They're all just lined
Cowboy,
up waiting
the 2
for us.
cats, yeah. And of course
think there's
Harley's
done
just
yet.
trying to come in at any chance that she gets.
That's funny because she was in here at the beginning of the podcast.
She was in here, and then she started fucking
Our
with
cat
the
Harley
the
podcast with us.
sometimes. And then she started fucking with the wires to my turntable, and I was like, "Fuck you, bitch."
Yeah. I
Well,
don't think you'll
before
ever
Adam
get a
got
wire
here,
for
we were
that.
talking about how we're turning that
yeah.
backyard into Thailand. So
We were
we're
talking
gonna
about the new tortoises we were getting.
I will say, when I came home from work today, because you 2 had off today, and when I came home from work today and I looked out back, like that was definitely a little bit of a shock. I was like, oh, like,
it's a lot.
There's some green back here now. That was my first initial thought. It wasn't that you guys planted more plants. It was, oh, it looks green. That was
Yeah.
my first initial thing.
Well, and it's all nice, new, like rich black dirt.
Yeah.
So there's like these really nice dark black mounds with these deep green leaves, and it looks all lush because it just got watered. And
I'm impressed. I'm really excited to see a full lush and green backyard. I think that would be great.
It's been a
I
process.
can't wait to put my hammock back
you know,
there.
one thing I
Yeah, that should be
learned
lovely.
from us building this backyard though is unless you have like a few $1,000s and you can afford to
Right.
get all the plants and put them all in at once, it's almost better to start in like one area, like a corner or something, and really just
Right.
fill it in.
Focus
like,
on it.
Like densely fill it and then work your way out, because at least even if it's a smaller area, even if it's like 9 square feet,
Right.
it'll be finished and it starts to get its own little like microclimate and cool
Well, that's
itself
the end goal,
off,
right?
and
Is getting this whole microclimate thing.
you
for
have
the
to get it
backyard,
cooler
yeah.
and damper. It has to have more humidity in the air. So spreading it out works if you can do it all at once.
Right.
But like this corner now, you could almost go out and get anything and plant it in that corner, and it's going to do a lot better than over by the duck coop, which is in the middle of our yard.
Gotcha.
So that's one thing I learned, you know. You kind of, it's like a skeleton. You do the big things to make the shade,
Right.
and then you do a little bit smaller. So the smallest, littlest things, which is usually the edible stuff, which is what we really want, that comes
Right.
last. You know, that's when you already have the nice environment.
You create the shade and you create the moisture.
It's actually kind of cool. I was going through old like pictures and stuff on my phone yesterday, and funny enough, I actually came across a picture I took when you and I, Justin, first looked at this house.
Oh, I would like
Oh,
to
And
see
I actually,
that. That would
and
be
I
actually fun
found
to
a
see.
picture of the backyard.
Is it just
Like-
totally? It was just big, huge weeds, wasn't it?
Not big, huge weeds, but everything was like much. So like you had this like patch of green in the
Oh, when we
middle.
first
that was
moved in.
Yeah, when we
so we had a
first-
lawn back
I
there.
took a picture of when.
really?
A bean-shaped lawn right in the middle.
Oh, that's what was in
And then
piles when I
rocks.
moved in. Someone had come and ripped that out and
Yes.
put all the rocks on the side.
Yes.
Yes.
And then there were piles all over. And that's what I leveled out. I went out and like shoveled these piles and threw them around the backyard.
Yeah, well, you guys are talking. I'll see if I can find this picture really quick.
I would like to see that.
Because I think it was through my Instagram, but it was actually kind of funny because, I mean, it looked like shit, but it was green, you know? So I just thought that was kind of ironic. Like, we're trying to make the yard greener when we first moved in. It was actually green. It was just all weeds and shit.
I just thought the grass was just like this ugly shape. And
well, it was.
I just didn't want grass.
We'll have to do like a before and after picture and post it. Like a before and after post for Facebook.
That was the first thing I thought of too when I saw it. I was like, oh, they would love this.
You know what's hilarious is more people comment on my posts about the garden than about fucking Hardly Millennial. And it's all the Hardly Millennial fans, but they all love the garden.
People love those niches, dude. There's a niche for everything. Yeah. You know, one thing about Hardly Millennial is we are very broad, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't really fall into like, one thing, do we?
Yeah, you know, whereas like when you have these like little niches that you talk about and see.
Well, even in our lives, you and Justin in particular, mostly Justin, he gets like hyper focused on a thing,
crazy on things.
Does it to the max, and then usually moves on to another thing.
But I always revisit.
You always do.
I took some time away from the yard.
You keep the memories and the knowledge. And
okay, so I can't really make this picture bigger right now. I'm sure it's lost in my phone somewhere, but you guys can kind of see it there. So that's like with all the weeds and stuff like that. No, because it's only doing like to delete or not. Just so you guys know, those listening, they're looking at like an Instagram story highlight that I did.
What's really ironic is I think as a whole, the yard was greener back then.
Well, that's what I thought was ironic about it.
But it was all just weeds and nasty
it was all just, it looked like
but
shit.
But it actually was very
green.
green.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Oh, yeah. The weeds were green.
It's those desert dandelion things. What are those things?
I don't know, but they're horrible.
They grow like fucking corn stalks out here.
Yeah,
they get huge.
And they grip the ground. Like, you can't get it out of the ground.
No,
they are survivors.
The tortoises love them, though. I let them grow on purpose sometimes.
Well, they were very slow at first.
Okay, so speaking of tortoises, so I know you guys were talking about this a little bit when I was gone, but because Matthew's mentioned it to me a few times, and you've mentioned it to me a few times, but so what's the deal with these tortoises? Like, what's...
Oh, go over it. We literally just went over it while you were gone.
Oh, like what's
they're native
wildlife.
They're native wildlife. Okay, do you remember that one that I had in Los Angeles? It was really small, and he died?
Yes.
Okay, well, most of them die. So these ones are already bigger. And they're Sonoran Desert tortoises. They're native wildlife. So,
but you're not allowed to own native.
You're not allowed to buy them, and these ones cannot be released into the wild.
But we can own their lives.
Yeah, so you apply, and then
that little loophole fell through the cracks.
Yeah, you can. They can get them for free from the wildlife, the fish and game people. They have a whole bunch that they're trying to place over 100.
So is it one of those? You know, once they're larger, they're more likely, I guess, not to die. Like they're easier to take care of. You know.
Yes.
Why do the small ones die?
They're just not a super healthy species. Yeah, that's where they have tons and tons of them when they're babies, and then few live forever and they reproduce.
Gotcha. Interesting.
So I'm really excited for it. There's one that has 3 legs. I would really like to have.
Of course, you always want the defective ones.
Yeah.
Just get one that's normal too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want one that's...
I'm probably going to love the normal one more.
I remember
That's
when
right. I said it. I'm not even sorry.
And if you're angry about it, write a comment down below.
Please.
I remember I went to go visit Justin in LA once. And I was actually visiting my sister, and I came to visit you. And you had a bird at the time. And it wasn't the same bird that stays with us 6 months out of the year. But it was the one that was, like, missing all of its feathers.
Oh, Bean.
It was so neurotic that it just picked out all of its feathers. So it was
all its belly feathers.
It was a naked fucking bird. Okay, anybody looked at this bird and
Justin
like, oh, that
loved
bird
it.
is naked.
I loved her.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it was, which drove me crazy. I mean, like, it's one thing.
I want a good tortoise.
It's one thing if you have a child and there is something wrong with the child, and it's like, okay, well, it's my child. I'll love it. It's another thing to like go to an adoption agency and be like, I want the most like problematic child that you have.
Someone has to love them.
I guess it's great that there are people out there like you that will do that. I am just not one of them. I am sorry.
Panama has
Also,
a
I
crooked
usually end
beak.
up taking care of the tortoises, so I would want the non-defective ones.
The non-defective
Yeah,
ones.
the good ones.
So is the Sonoran tortoise going to get as big as a fucking dinosaur like the other ones are?
No, they still get big.
Django will get big though.
A Jingle will get fucking
And
huge.
Ethan, well, they're both sulcata tortoises. They can get giant, like the one that you saw.
Yes, I know. That fucking blew me away when I fucking saw that.
I want one.
So just so you guys know, so we have these 2 tortoises, that you just mentioned, and I was Justin had told me before that they get big. Okay.
They're from the Sahara Desert, right?
Yes.
Okay. Justin had told me, they get big. Okay, Justin, they get big. Got it.
No, you can sit on
And
it,
then,
bro.
yes,
Yeah.
I found that out. So all of a sudden, Justin's like, was like, so I found out, well, you guys met him, Chris. His mom was like in the market for one of these tortoises, but she wanted like a full grown one. And then,
Which is probably like a few $1,000s.
No.
No.
Well, I found it.
I was going to say, you found it.
I found
for
one for
like-
$200.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I
But
have the hookup.
I go over
Damn.
to his house, to his mom's house, to hang out with Chris and to see his mom. And all of a sudden, there's this giant fucking dinosaur in the fucking yard. And I'm like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden, Justin's like, oh, yeah, this is how big they get. What?
Yeah.
This is a fucking dinosaur. This is a Tyrannosaurus Rex on 4 legs.
Except
What the
they
fuck
are
this is.
not meat eaters. They're herbivores.
Of course.
Well,
It's more like a stegosaurus.
whatever.
More like a stegosaurus.
Dinosaur. They're just fucking big. That's my point. They're fucking
Also,
huge.
apparently the dinosaurs were birds now, is what they're teaching kids. So,
Well, they were.
No, the
we have
birds
proof
were
of that.
dinosaurs.
The birds were, other way.
What? Okay, whatever.
The dinosaurs had feathers.
Squares and rectangles, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, those are 2 separate
They weren't
shapes.
lizards, they were birds.
No, they were lizards
were.
too.
Well,
There were-
some of them were lizards.
You have to be a
During
lizard
some of
or
them,
a
Yeah.
bird. You
there
can't
were.
be a lurd.
Well,
There's no lizards.
the
No,
one
he's just saying that some can't, like some lizards, like
mutated
came from dinosaurs,
and then
but
they got
also a lot of birds.
they
came
developed a
from
hollow
dinosaurs.
bone gene.
Did they have feathers or scales?
Both? Birds have feathers and scales. That's how part of the reason that we know. Birds have scales on their feet.
Adam, can
Oh.
we confirm this?
I mean, okay, their feet, sure, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about full body scales, homie.
I was gonna say I don't think it was a scale thing. I think it was a bird without its feathers kind of looking thing, like just
Well,
this
no,
like
they were-
raw skin. I
they
don't
were
think
all-
there was.
They were all scales before they were feathers.
Did they fly?
Reptiles have scales. Dinosaurs were reptiles. Okay, the
That's
mutation.
not what they say now, though.
They turn into birds. Nothing started in the sky. Everything started in the water, then the land, then the sky. So anything that is now in the sky has a distant cousin that was on the ground.
So, are you suggesting that the fossils because this all stemmed and got confirmed because we found a fossil basically that of a dinosaur with all of its feathers still
Yeah.
intact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feathers.
So
okay.
feathers
Yes.
still intact.
Bird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that fossil then is this preserved fossil that we found, like, is this supposed to be the transitioning period, like during
Definitely.
that transitioning period?
Absolutely.
So dinosaurs started out as lizards,
Yes.
and then they
Then became
slowly
birds.
evolved into the bird.
Yeah. Being warm-blooded is an evolution. Okay.
Okay.
Nothing in this world started as a warm-blooded anything because we all come from the water. Anything that comes from the water, with the exception of underwater mammals, okay, were cold-blooded. Amphibians, reptiles. Okay. Reptiles then evolved into things that could fly or take to the trees. Okay. And then eventually we have things like the woolly mammoth, which came far later than reptiles.
Right.
Woolly mammoth came way after dinosaurs. They were around at the same time as the Egyptians.
Okay.
Okay. So, and that obviously is a predecessor to something like an elephant or a land mammal. Okay. So where's the confusion? Because the brontosaurus is not a bird.
I'm not saying it's a bird, but it's an early descendant of the bird, right?
Sure.
Okay, so so some dinosaurs went to become lizards and some of them went to become birds?
Yeah.
Is that the understanding?
Absolutely.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. I thought it was like we thought they were lizards, and then all of a sudden one day we found out they were
they're
birds.
reptiles.
Well, found out they were reptiles, and then all of a sudden found out they were birds.
Dinosaurs are reptiles, and then eventually you had some that could fly, more that developed feathers, because feathers are an adaptation to keep you cool and warm, because climate had a lot to do with what affected the dinosaurs.
So what we've learned is right. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it changed. I thought it recently changed and everything.
Well,
we
I think just when we were in school, like
how Pluto's
the
not a
reptile
planet,
part,
I thought they blew the dinosaurs away.
Right. Well,
too.
I think the whole reptile thing, just as Justin said, was still correct. So the bird thing is just new information.
I feel happier about
It's
that.
not so much that the dinosaurs were birds, it's that we now know that birds are direct descendants from dinosaurs, okay, down to their feet. I mean, a raptor is a bird of prey, okay? The velociraptor is a celestial ground reptile.
Right.
Okay, so, yeah.
I don't know what two of those words mean, but okay.
Well, the velociraptor was the dinosaur. Well, I'm sure you got that part.
I know that part.
So what was the other one you didn't understand?
Oh, there was another word in there. I didn't know what it meant. I forget now.
Terrestrial? Oh,
yeah, that one.
Living on the ground.
Oh,
Terra means ground in Latin, so terrestrial.
Like terrain?
Like we're terrestrial beings. Extraterrestrial are people who are not of this earth or anything that is not of this earth.
You're so smart, Justin.
Well, he pulls
Oh, well,
one
thank
out
you.
every now. Don't give
No,
him
I'm actually just really smart. Bless your
He's
soul.
He's not.
You think you know everything, but I blow your mind regularly, so.
Yeah, but you're full of shit regularly too.
No,
so you
I'm
have
not.
to be careful.
I'm not full of shit regularly. It's people who are full of shit that worry that other people are full of shit. So you are full of shit, and you know you're full of shit.
But that's an arbitrary thing to say. You can't just say that and then be matter of fact about it.
Yes, I can, because if you weren't full of shit, you wouldn't tell me I was full of shit.
Like it's some hidden insecurity.
What? That I'm full of shit?
Yeah.
I'm right a tremendous amount of time. The statistics speak for themselves. I don't have to be insecure about it. That's like saying I'm insecure because...
Adam, can we confirm this? Do we have confirmation of his regular correctiveness?
I truly don't.
How regularly is he wrong? I can't think of the last time.
It's...
Remember when you were so sure that... what was it?
Panama let's not pull out any specifics here.
The U.S. dollar, and you were like, yeah, no, sorry. I'm usually right.
They use the Panamanian yuan. Everybody knows that.
Okay.
The Panamanian one.
Juan.
Juan?
Yeah.
Panamanian Juan.
Juan. You know, like John in Spanish.
Oh.
What is the currency in China?
The yuan.
See, that one I do.
But it's Y-U-A-N. It's not with a W.
Is it yuan?
A lot of people say yuan.
Oh, I said yuan. Yuan.
Okay,
the yuan.
A lot of people say yuan.
I believe it's
British
7
people,
yuan.
British people say yuan.
That's
7
weird.
yuans.
That just sounds like it's wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
I mean, they say things different.
That's true.
It's the center of commerce for the globe. So
They're just weird, I guess. Whatever.
there's more investing done
people.
in England than there is in America.
Oh, that's true. They're much more proper.
They love to go on holiday. There's a
to go
lot
on
of
holiday.
Brits, a lot of Irish
I
people, a
love
lot of Canadians that travel.
Thailand?
Mm-hmm.
I believe
Everywhere.
that. I believe just a lot of white people from America and Europe do.
Not a lot of, well, the Americans, we go places for, you either have people who are like me who go for like 10 days or people who are like, I'm from New Jersey. I've been traveling for 7 months. Whereas people from Europe, they usually will take about a month. They have more paid time off in Europe.
I always have wondered if that is something that, like, that I, as Adam, could do. Like, just pick up and just like, oh, for 2 years I'm going to go just chill and travel the world.
Yes.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I would enjoy
if you have
that.
the constitution for it.
Yeah, like I feel like I would like to travel and go visit places, 5-10 days at a time, but I don't know if I could just be like, I'm just gonna quit my job and just walk around Europe for a little bit.
Because I require a very comfortable recharge.
I feel like I just require a base is really my thing. It's like I just need someplace I know that there's to go back to, and that I can just go and chill for a little bit. And
If you travel, I mean,
plus I get distracted a lot. So if I was assuming having a job where I could, work while traveling on a laptop or whatnot, like I just would
We
lose
just get
that.
local jobs
I
everywhere
would
you
just
go.
lose. Oh, that's true. There
A
are
lot of people
who
will do
that.
like work for the summer on a farm, and you get a
Yeah.
little house and food and shit.
if you're
and then
good
you
at
go
finding that
travel.
stuff, I've never been able to find any type of program like that. I always look and stuff.
Some people are just like keen to
Yeah.
living that lifestyle. They're just good at it.
Definitely.
'Cause
Vanessa,
it's really just word of mouth. You just
Vanessa
talk
went to South
people.
Africa and worked on a wine farm.
Vanessa's one of those people. She's just good at that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Shout out, girl. We
that's-
love you. You're amazing.
I'm so sad I wasn't able to get her on the podcast. We tried while
be
she was
back.
visiting. She'll be back though. She has to bring back that lovely animal.
The exotic macaw from the South America.
Oh Lord,
I love him.
he's coming soon, isn't he?
I was gonna say he's coming soon, right?
He's due to come soon. He's usually
July.
around this time, but I don't know if she has a trip planned, so he might not come until like, I don't know, maybe the late summer. I don't know.
What a shame.
Yippee ki fucking yay! I cannot wait to get that bird back into my life.
We love Panama. That's Panamaniac.
Panamaniac. All right. Well, I
Is that
feel
your
this.
stomach?
Yes.
Jesus, he's starving.
Oh wow.
We better get this man some food.
I was just
my
gonna
Lord.
say I feel the conversation kind of rolling to an end here, but it was a fun conversation.
I enjoyed it.
Isn't it a lot nicer to like actually not have a time limit on
Yeah,
these
just to not worry
things
about it.
and just kind of
You
like
just kind of get lost in
because
it.
remember we used to worry about too about like doing things like we did today, like walking up and going out the door or whatnot.
Well, and if
like,
we got to 40 minutes or so, we never wanted to bring up a new subject because we'd be worried, like, oh, it's going to take too long.
yeah,
now you
you're
just
gonna
bring up
get
whatever you
caught
want.
up. Yeah, now you're just like, what the fuck ever.
Was it more enjoyable to listen to? Holler to us. Let
Hashtag
us
me
know.
too if you like this format a little
Hashtag
bit
me
more.
too.
Well, I want to go get some food, so let's wrap this mother up.
Let's wrap this mother up. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Remember, you can follow us on all the social media platforms. We also have a Patreon, www.patreon.com/Hardly Millennial. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Any final thoughts, Justin?
Don't forget to travel.
Any final thoughts, Mathu?
It's good to be back, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.